The man, the myth, the legend.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just witnessed history.
How about that?
My grandson used to say, "Faster, Papa, faster."
All right, so we got Bill here with his name right on the door.
You can tell a plumber put this together.
Well, I remember the plumbing and the fuel system in the back.
Yeah, I know. It's all these
Still like
all
that?
these sconces or whatever
Yeah.
around everything. I'm like, what's with this plastic?
It had
Plastic?
brass 90s screwed together in the back.
So
Yeah, you know, the plumber building a race car.
all right, so we got Bill here and
I'm Doug Wright.
Doug Wright.
Ed Harrigard,
All right,
good friend of Bill's.
cool. Did you help him wreck it or?
No,
Okay.
He did my transmissions. He taught me.
I used to do the transits. I worked at a Chevrolet dealer. I put this thing on the alignment. You should see when they brought it into the dealer. Did alignment. They go, "What are you doing?" I said, "I got to do a front end alignment." He's like, "Oh."
Well, no, and that's the thing is we don't know how anything works. We did a little bit with the line lock and whatever. The brakes suck, but like the line lock barely worked. I'm like, I don't know if it's got a trans brake, and we don't know what anything does. We're just like
Right.
screwing around with stuff.
So originally, this car was built as a 4-link car.
It's
and
still a
that-
4-link car.
And NSCA, though, if you look back there, I don't know if we ever made brackets. Remember NSCA said we couldn't run a
Yeah.
4-link. So Dave Curl made ladder bars that were real short. They might have bolted into the stock
Okay.
4-link lower bolt brackets, as I remember, because they wouldn't let us run a 4-link. You know?
Well, and
And
that's when Bill Atwood told me it was a ladder bar car, and then when I got under there to shop, I'm like, this is a 4-link car.
It
Like,
had,
this isn't.
we put ladder bars that they were like, I don't know, 26 inches long or 28. They were pretty short, you know?
Gotcha.
To be able to
When I
pass
was
the
doing
rules.
wheelies out at Martin, that's when I touched the wall with this here. And I come down and I touched the wall and I went back out. When I come back around, they says, the announcer says, "Did that scare you?" I said, "Not really." I said, "The only scary thing is, how did I get this box of popcorn in my car?" And so then the horsepower TV people says, "You're doing these awesome wheelies. We're gonna put a camera on the side of your car." And I goes, "I wouldn't put it on that side." "What about the other side?" I said, "Well, it might be another lane." So he says, "Well, we'll put it on the roof. That's a good spot for it." And I did a wheelie, you know, that's how every time they took a commercial break, they showed us doing that wheelie on the horsepower. And me and my wife, we heard that they were going to televise it. And we were down in Alamorada, and we go into a bar, and I said, "I think it's horsepower TV time." I said, "Can you turn the TV on?" Guy says, "Why?" I said, "Well, the car's going to be on it." "Oh, sure." He turns it on, and the first thing they did is, and they showed this, and they started buying drinks.
Nice.
It was incredible.
But we pulled out the plugs that were in there, and the gap was gone. So
Right.
we don't know if they're so tight and there's so much compression that it's actually hitting the
Yeah,
gaps
yeah.
closed. But so we put double crush washers on them
Yeah.
to separate them
So
out a little
space there.
bit. So
Did it have extended nose on
So-
it or just retracted nose plug?
no, just normal retracted wheel.
Normal,
So
it's still, yep.
but well, that's what we think. So we just
Right.
spaced them out or whatever. But like, because it's like, why is this one gapped and this one isn't? And
Right.
like it's all random. So.
Good no ammo, but good. So you don't know.
But when I did burnouts, this such a long back end, it would drag all the tire smoke up. And the car would fill up with tire smoke. I put a fan there, to blow it out.
Okay, well, we heard a story though that you were doing a burnout in the garage with a part nitro mix, and you
Yeah.
passed out in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Were we running nitro? I says I thought it was Captain Morgan.
Well, we go to Stanton. He's running Nostalgia Superstock. This is the first altered wheel box car that anybody tried to run that way. And he didn't want to run the right index, so
I
he's
wish that one could do I did that all by myself.
So what's your
See that hand come up? I'm all out. Look at the fish. They used to kid me about the size of the gauges because they were so big. Are you blind? Maybe.
Yeah, that's we cut the.
I didn't remember doing that thing.
Yeah, we cut. There was like the old school funny car cage in here.
Yeah.
We cut all that out, and then the bar down to the other side. EJ ground it all out or whatever, but because it would never cert for faster than 850 now with that cage, so we just cut those other bars out to make it easier to get in and out of.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yep. I'll show you our other stuff. We got good stuff. There's only a few of them here. All right, so cool visit with Bill Mckesson actually coming out here. He was in town, lives in Fort Myers, so in town, awesome. But we got to get the car ready for Indy. So next up, we're getting the stuff ready. Catch you back up to where the last video left off, if you watched it, which is us getting it ready. Make sure that we don't have an oil leak, so we can get it to Indy. The new magazine did go out, so lots of people comment it's the best one ever. It does have Sick Week. Get over Sick the Mag, subscribe if you're not a subscriber to it. It is a book, 200 glorious pages. So plus lots of cool merch there. We'll get you right to Indy, and then when we get back later in the video, we got a lot more with Bill Mckesson. We didn't want to cut too much out of it because, hey, stuff like that I like watching. The old timers that telling us the stories and the different things about it. Bill, if you didn't notice in that part too, he's very hard of hearing, so I was told he was deaf. I've only texted with him, so he does a combination of reading your lips and listen to what you're saying. You speak loud, but that's what it is. So thanks for watching, guys, and off to Indy we go. That don't sound good.
Because you fucked it up. Let's go.
line lock doesn't hold worth a shit.
Well, you don't got brakes worth of shit, so line lock can't do much.
What are you doing now?
Take the Blazer instead.
Oh, should we just go load it? Oh, I thought we were gonna look for leaks. I thought the idea was.
I was just watching
It didn't
for
blow up,
anything.
so we're all good.
No, there's nothing.
I was like, any oil pouring out there?
So when you were launching it, it didn't see. The most part, it's not leaking anywhere. But the brakes to stop you are okay.
Yeah.
We gotta shoot. I put the sweet thing on it, so.
Will it just blow? It's probably like.
Dude, it'll fall out and it'll be
It'll
some
be in the
dirty
same
underwear
ball.
pops out.
It'll be in the
It'll
same.
stay in its compacted ball.
Oh my
In
God.
the same ball it started in.
Right.
Well, I don't know. It started. It ran. What, DJ? Oh yeah. Yeah, I guess he put that partial one. We need those other ones. Oh, everyone, look, EJ went to the beautician yesterday. Can't you tell the difference?
Huge difference.
So, she wanted to make sure you guys all noticed.
Come on, girl.
Trying to give enough room for it to get out.
Yeah, well, have to make that strap pretty tight because it's gonna
Flip that power off, Bobby.
about 2 inches away
you kick
from
the
the
master
quarter
power
panel.
God damn.
Backing out, it's gonna be tough on that guard on the transpan. It just touched and slipped right over it, but backing out could be, you might
All
want to
right.
raise the tongue a little bit, backing it out.
All right, we gotta push it back and let her out, and then push it in. She can't get out.
Oh,
There's no
she's
way.
not eating for 3 weeks, that's what I heard.
No, it's only till tomorrow.
No,
About
I
3
heard
weeks.
3 weeks.
Okay, should be good. Brakes. You can't put it in park or else we can't move it. So you just hold it, Bobby. Oh wait, come forward a little bit. Bobby, push it forward a hair. There you go. That gives her an extra inch.
I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it.
2 days later.
I can see this one. If I was a betting man, that little dent right there. There's a fucking little dent right there and a piston in there.
I bet you it's touching.
Hey Bob, what do you think's going on?
Pistons are hitting the spark plugs and completely closing them. There's little dents in the top of the pistons where it hit the electrode and just closed it. So that's a small spark issue when there's no gap for spark. It's probably why it was missing. They'll know more.
Can't really see very well, but don't know. Like, we pulled the spark plugs out for the first time. A lot of them are closed, and we think we see little indentations in the pistons that, like, maybe the pistons are closing the spark plug gap because they're hitting the top of the piston, but. I don't know, see one of these other. Bob show you the pistons, the spark plugs? Yeah, so they randomly gapped to weird stuff, so don't know. So Bob's gonna try and get the washers off the other ones, and we'll double washer the new spark plugs we're putting in to hopefully make sure that they're not hitting, and go from there. But it should be all good. All right, so we got shut down at Indy on trying to run on the return road. They teched us for 12 seconds. Plus, with the way the day was, we just getting time to get up there. So we're trying to do some stuff on the return road. I at least want to do a wheelie, but we got shut down right away with the track guy, and I didn't want to get kicked out of the track. So we got more coming up now with Bill Mckesson and his visit to the shop and going over stuff with him. And spark plug stuff. So to fill you in on that spark plug stuff, don't know how well we covered it at the at the track in the video, but literally we think the pistons are hitting, closing the gap on the spark plug. So that's part of it that I said to Mckesson about us doubling up on the crush washers to get it away. We don't know until we get the engine out of the car, but we also are in a mad dash getting 2.0 ready to get it to Chicago this weekend, and yeah, that's what we got. So more with Bill Mckesson, so watch it, enjoy. Lots of cool old timer stories. So thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe to the channel. So can't tell you enough. Comment, tell us what you want to see more of, or are we just blabbering your ears off? So tell us that too. Thanks for watching. Bob, Aiden.
How are you?
Glad to meet you guys.
Which one's Bill?
This is Bill.
That's Wild Bill.
Yeah.
It's Wild Bill.
Go guy, Bill.
Wild Bill.
How you doing, buddy?
So this is 5,000 horsepower.
Wow. You sell 2,000 of it?
So street legal, we drive it on the street.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, isn't it? You know, he was all drooling over my car. There's nothing like this.
V8 automatics, that's me.
No, I think it's out of gas. I started doing it. I did
Is
a
it out of
burnout.
gas?
He ran out of gas. It's barely down the bottom, but it stalled like it was out of gas.
We got more.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was upstairs for the rig. Or
It's not in here, right? You couldn't put it in the trailer.
I went to have that car dyno run in the garage. The guy that was doing it didn't know I had alcohol on it. I said, "You want me to drive it?" You know, he goes, no, I'll take care of it. He fires it up, and I didn't put no additive in for that. He's in there, his eyes are running, and get this son of a bitch out of my garage. So he dynoed the car, and he had a Ford that was running 205. This is back in 03 or 02. And he says, you need to buy this from me. And I had a guy that went with me to all the races, Earl Brown. And I told him, this is my crew chief. So he says, I'm sorry to tell you a real good deal, 125,000, about 200 now. I says, I don't know nothing about that Ford. He says, I got a crew chief right here. He'll do everything. I says, how expensive is it? He goes, well, you work it out. I says, well, the best I could do is pay you double what I pay him. He goes, you pay me double? He goes, how much does he pay you? Earl? He goes, shit! He's not paying nothing. I said, well, I can double that. I had a kid, Kenny, that he was crippled. And I got the car, and I took him to the race, and his son was probably 11, 12 years. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm all suited up in the car, and Kenny's got his crutches, and he's got this 12-year-old, 10-year-old pushing my car. And this guy walks up and he looks at me and he goes, you son of a bitch, you're I said, hey, you think you could tell him to hurry up a little bit?
Kenny's a good guy.
Yeah.
This is his car. So it's being rebodied. He put this on its roof last year.
Yeah.
So this is a new body on the same chassis, but the other body was kind of junk.
Can I drive?
I've heard too many stories about letting you drive.
Well, as long as they don't tell you about my golf cart and stuff. Yeah.
Do you know his history of other cars that he had before that?
We know the jackknife, like
Right, the Kramer's got the Charger, right, Limelight. But the original 65 is down in Miami, right?
Yeah.
The first one that the factory lightweight 65 altered that he had, guy's got it in Miami. It
It
still
was the
exists.
13th car. What happened, I lived in Dearborn, and Westbourne Plymouth had their Paul Rossi racer Superstar, and he was really good. They had a lot of shows there. Well, they got a 65, and they went to Pomona for the Winter Nationals, and he raced the car. And then he came home and he says, we want a altered wheelbase car. So Chrysler says, we're not going to build a hardtop like ours, but you got a sedan. So they gave him all the factory altered wheelbase stuff. So the dealership, they did the altered and they built the car. And then Ford came to Paul Rossi and offered him an overhead cam Comet in the truck. He was probably 25, 26 years old. I was 19, and he left. So I go into the dealer. I says to the owner, I said, I'll drive the car for you. He said, kid, you want to buy this car? I'll sell it to you for my cost. I went, sure. No, I didn't even ask a price. Yeah, I'm making $4,900 a year. I mean, like $65 a week, right?
Whoa.
So he says, you can have that car for what I got in it. I said, how much? He goes, $3,500. I said, okay. I got a hold of my brother. I says, get $600. I got 600. We're gonna buy a funny car. He says, you can't buy no funny car. I said, get over here. So he was a pipe fitter. He was making a lot of money. I was an apprentice plumber. We buy the car. Chrysler finds
Wait, how
out.
did $1,200 turn into $3,400? That's
Yeah.
what I want to know.
Yeah, that's we went to finance.
Oh,
gotcha. And then turned around.
Finance a race car. There you go.
Finance the funny car.
Chrysler blew their mind. They says these two kids, they got an experimental race car. They'll kill somebody, will be sued. So we put the car together. It wasn't 100% done. It had carburetors on it. So we went to a couple of races to get a feel of it, and each one of us was driving it back and forth. And then we went down to Virginia, and guys, everybody thought we were factory people because this was a factory ordered job. So they're helping us out, you know. So then next thing you know, everybody's got hillboards. So we get a set of hillboards, we go down to Florida. We get down there. This is a race, 50 cars. And it came down to me and Pete Dorsey. His dad owned Dorsey Truck Business. And he's like 6'3", 6'4". And he was surprised. They thought we were factory people. And he says, I gotta go home. He says, you gotta race the 49 cars now, all race on a band in the airport, you know? And you'd look down the track and you wouldn't see no end. You would just see people standing out. And two floodlights. Oh shit. And my brother says, the last run, I could read the name on the side of the car when you went across the finish line. So Pete comes up to me and he says, put some nitro in it. I go, nitro? He says, yeah, you're running gas. We got alcohol and nitro. So he gave me 20 gallons of nitro in the alcohol and that. Took the injectors out, put them in my hillborn. He says, you're gonna need this suit. Put the suit up. I weighed 134 pounds wet. The pants were up to here. The sleeves were this far too long. I didn't have no mask. And my helmet was a motorcycle helmet that didn't even cover the ears.
Oh, jeez.
So we beat everybody. And then we went to another race, and we beat everybody there too. And we, Virginia Twister. There was, I think, Malcolm Durham. There were a lot of guys that were out at Pomona at that time, but there was still some southern guys, and we raced them on abandoned airports with the flags, you know. And then we had one race. And I won. They turned around and says, you took off too fast. And I'm 20 years old. And I said, well, let's do it again. So we went out there and done it again. We come back, we had weeds underneath our car, you know? And it was a racing, you can never do that again, you know? It was crazy. You wonder why you're alive. But we did that, we went back. We set the For that kind of car, we set the track record at Detroit, at Motor City, and Grand Bend all in a month.
Wow.
And we were really running good. And then the puffer cars come out. And next thing you know, oh shit, look at that. Then here comes the flip tops. So we get through the season, and my brother says, I'm building a Ford, a Camry, a flip top. So I went to see Jay Howe. He was building chassis for everybody. And Jay sees me, I'm 20 years old. Get out of my store, you know? You can't be really so nitro funny. I said, okay. So I go to Logie, because my brother was going to Logie. And I sold the car for $3,000 and kept the motor and transmission. So I go to Logie, and my brother was a bow shooter. And Logie's, they're business people. They can read that. Me, I got tears in my eyes, you know? I got cash in my hand. I said, will you build me a chassis? I'll build you one, Billy. So he builds one. I turn around, I get a Dodge Charger body. And I come in there, it's all done. I go in there, and Logie goes, what the hell is this? I goes, my Charger. He says, you ain't a Ford guy? I said, oh no, that's my brother. He said, oh shit. He goes, this is all Ford Motor Company.
And Logie was like a back door for Ford.
He says, they're gonna be pissed off. I said, well, you should have seen Chrysler. So I paid for it. He said, do something different. I said, what can I do different? He's making a scissor car. Okay, we're just cutting it off and we'll make a scissor car. That's how that came down.
Wow.
Because Logie was embarrassed about, so he turned around and he hired Jay Howe. By the time I got my car done, Jay Howe was working for Logie. And he says, I said, well, what happened with Ford? And I told him, they pay me not to make for them, I won't. And I go to a track here, I'm 21 years old. No Chrysler people got a Logie chassis, not the Ram Chargers, not nobody, and no GM people. Who do you know at Logie? So it's smart ass kid. Ain't who you know, it's who knows you. Get out of there. And it turned around. I unofficially got in the top 10, but they weren't even, they were trying to keep records. People were keeping track. I had a couple of people that were really involved, and I beat Don Nicholson. He red lighted, but a win is a win.
Oh yeah.
Right? And I beat 3 of the top 10 people. And somebody says, you're in the top 10. And then I broke a rod, broke a head and a half. It took me a month and a half to get a motor back together. I was doing good though. I was making $89 a week.
This is a nice fab up here.
I'm gonna have to find a wife a new job closer.
This should be the only 2 chassis, Durango and
There you go, get
Plymouth,
up
as
in
far as
there.
I know.
Let's see what you're like in there. Can you get in there?
He restored 1971 e-bike places.
I don't think I ain't gonna get it there.
He had a stroke.
You need the kind that you
Where's your
raise
egg
up and
crate?
put over the
You
back.
couldn't get them out if you got in. Oh, there you go.
Right before, or right maybe.
There you go.
You talked me into it.
The guy's name was Roy Santelli. So he wasn't in here maybe a year, and then he had.
See, this is bolted in, Bobby.
Seat's bolted in, yeah. It's not tight, but yeah, it's bolted. It's got 4 bolts in it.
My 64 is with the Richard wheel comes on now.
There you go. We got our roadkill driver.
There you go.
Good for one pass.
No scraping the wall.
Plenty of headroom. Look at that.
Hey guys, can you all make motor sounds?
It was wiggling around.
I went 182, I think, back in the 60s. But I don't think their clacks were more advertisement than they were true. I think 820 was my best I ever ran. And then 30 years later, these guys are talking about going down the street and with 7-second cars.
Yep.
What the hell are you talking about?
Yep. No, it's came a long way. That's my other car. That's over at the other garage. But that one's been 639. So 639, 230. So. Such a cool car. Like when we saw it, I mean, we got it from Connecticut. So drove all the way to Connecticut to get a car that was built right here.
Oh,
so
yeah. I mean, it is. Yeah, I called, Steve Atwell told me about it. And I got a text Doug. I says, you know where my car is? He said, I was going to tell you, not 5 minutes from here, you know. I just can't imagine that even mingling in with what you got back there. That's like, to me, it's like a Volkswagen in a Mercedes dealer.
Oh, it's cool.
Bring back a whole lot of memories.
Yeah.
Once in a while, somebody will send me something back in the 60s when me and my brother had the original. And you start thinking about it. That was actually history with drag racing.
Right.
And to be part of it.
Right.
Is,
well, and what's
you
crazy
don't
is like the
think
history
about
of the cars like this was only like 2 years, and then it
Yeah.
was on the funny cars, complete funny cars.
Oh,
So,
it went so fast.
Right.
It changed. You blink your eyes, and then the puffers, and guy that ran Humanity Detroit Dragway, and I had the limelight. He says, get that injector off, get rid of the nitro, run some alcohol. He goes, be mild on that motor. It won't get hot. It'll live. It doesn't have to work. If you want more power, you just turn the boost. I did, well, I'm $89 a week I'm having.
That's Scott said that he knows where your jackknife is. It's just the body.
Yeah.
The frame's gone, but just the body.
Jim Kramer has it. And I got an urge to get it. And he said he'd sell it to me because, you know, he don't have the original front end. It's the back is, but he's got a front end that could be for the flip, and have to redo. I was real close to getting it and redoing the body, and I work for guy. It's called Cars. It's right out my door. He does restoration. He probably got 40 cars in there, and I can get him to do anything I want with the body work. But I was going to do it for the pick at it. And then I turned around, I bought the 65 Plymouth. I play golf 5 days a week and tennis too. And I need something in the afternoon to do. So I bought that, and then next thing I know, I had to do the whole undercarriage, to rebuild the back suspension, new brakes, booster. The motor was good, transmission was good, and no interior. I had to replace all the flooring, or I had to cut the floor out for the cross member, for the torsion bars. And then I ended up patching all that, and a little picking. I wanted something to go out every once in a while. And then this turned into shit. And I'm going to sell it as soon as I get the motor running real good and the electrical finished. And then I'm going to get into something else. But I need something not so major. But I was going to, he'd sell me the Limelight. But I think he...
So is the Limelight the jackknife? The Limelight was the jackknife car?
Yeah, it was a scissor.
Okay.
It was a split.
Yep.
And it was a bad idea. It wasn't feasible. I did it because of Logie. But it was different and it caught on to a lot of people. They liked it. Our first pictures, we had 3x3s, wood posts holding the body while we worked on the motor. And the motor is in the front seat, I'm sitting in the back seat, and I had a push button. My Plymouth had a push button. So I got a 58 DeSoto push button, put it in an aluminum box, tube, right between my legs. First, that picture I showed you with the helmet, that was our first race. It wasn't a race, we had keys to Motor City Dragway. So we got just maybe 30-40% in it. And I put it in first, I kicked it in the ass, it don't go nowhere. I hit second, and it had the reverse pattern. I didn't think about a reverse pattern. And I'm going over 100, and I put it in first gear.
Oh.
And that thing, I thought it was coming apart. And that's when I said, there ain't no transmission better than that torque flight. I got down to the end, I turned around, and here's my buddy at the starting line. What the hell is he doing? I made a run back.
Oh.
And I didn't even have a parachute on it. And I got back there and I told him what happened. And then I made another run, and I didn't have a spoiler on the front. And it came up, it went over to the other lane and sat down. And I was, shit, we got to get a spoiler on this. So I turned around. This is the first time I ever flew, is in my car. Way turned around, but
Well, that one though, if he wants to get rid of it, we might be interested, because I mean, we thought about like if Bobby could build a chassis underneath it. Like,
with that was the key thing. I wanted to build a chassis.
right.
If I got the chassis built, then I would do something. But then the guy says, get the body and just get it prepped for paint and everything. Get your system working, and then build a chassis to your wheelbase, because you don't even know what the wheelbase is.
Right. Exactly.
And I'm, yeah, that's a good idea. But I would do something with anybody if I could just get my fingers in, to do it. And I know he'd sell me the car. He'd sell me the body. And we were going to go up there to chit chat with him. And but it's in his barn, a shit piled on top of it. He's doing nothing like collecting dust. But if I knew somebody that wanted to do something and restore it or whatever, Pete Gates' car, like somebody got that and went through the auction, sold for $200,000.
Jeez.
And Atwell can get all the Hemi parts or anything. And there's still a lot of stuff out there. You can easily, nobody really knows. So it ain't something, you can just make it nice.
Right.
Nobody can, numbers to worry about.
Right.
Or this don't have to be in this spot.
Yep.
And I had Dave Strickler's car, the body parts, when I built this, to make sure I could get the right wheelbase. And then I gave the body parts back to Steve, and we bought the glass. But I thought he was crazy when he paid $45,000 for that in a bushel basket. He sold it for $1.2 million.
Jeez. Wow.
Chrysler offered him $250,000.
Really?
It was in the world headquarters. I said, you didn't sell it? No. He went to $500,000. I said, you didn't sell it? No. Then he sends me a letter, says, hey, write this up. And you worked on the car, you did set up the injection and all that, and you know it's Dave Strickler car. I go, yeah, so I did. I sell it, yeah, $1.2 million.
Jeez.
Hey, Doug.
Come on, we got to get out of here.
We're going? All right.
You're going to outgrow your shirt.
Nice talking to you guys. Thank you for your time.
Yep. Thank you.
We had a great time.
We'll see you guys.
We'll see you guys. Thank you.
Yep. There you go. The man, the myth, the legend. So Bill was in the house. So now we met the builder, met the guy that did it, and found more about some of his other stuff. So lots of good stories. Just super cool just to listen to him talk. So, and EJ didn't even record all of it, but a lot of it.